Okay, so today we have 7 protocols that I have to do. They're all right here. What I do is I actually get everything ready beforehand, like the night before, usually the night before, but now really I'm really only doing 3 things, but I break it up into 7 things because there's certain steps that I'll do with different lab activities and experiments and stuff, so I break everything down. And you can see everything on the screen what we're going to be doing, but essentially we're creating a stock solution for our algae, and then we're creating things called slants, which are essentially agar gelatin, and the reason they're called slants is because they're solidified in a slanted manner in order to have more surface area, and it's used for long-term storage of algae and other things, bacteria and so on. And then we're going to extract some algae from the incubator, and we're going to be putting some of the algae in the slants. I'm going to be starting the 3rd experiment that I'm doing. The first experiment in this project kind of failed, but then the second one I got some good data, and now I'm going to be comparing a control to the Indole-3-Acetic acid that's been decomposed, photo-decomposed, so in other words, exposed to light, and it causes the molecular structure to decompose. So there's a lot of steps to that, including testing the concentration of that photo-decomposed Indole-3-Acetic acid. But essentially, you can see it on the screen, all the things that we'll be doing, and I'll be checking them off as I go. Now this all kind of looks like a mess, but it's a very controlled mess. And essentially, as I go along, you'll notice that all this stuff will start to disappear and end up in my pile, or my dish bin, or my trash bin, or whatever. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to need to put 500 milliliters of distilled water into here. Now this I've actually labeled already with the 500 milliliter line. These aren't very reliable, unless they're graduated cylinders like this. These aren't very reliable, but if you actually measure it out first and put some kind of marker, I do that a lot whenever I use certain volumes all the time, and I use 500 milliliters in these media bottles all the time. So right now we're creating the stock media solution, growth solution, which is essentially a bunch of nutrients and stuff for the spirulina to grow. It's always important to check off everything as you go along. Now I'll stick a magnetic stir bar in there. And then over here, I believe it's out of camera, is a magnetic stirrer. And then we need, it's always important not to just keep going if you know how to do it. You always want to look just in case, because there's times where you'll change a protocol, and then when you change the protocol, you forget that you changed it, and you think you're doing the same protocol, and for whatever reason this one needed more of some nutrient than normal. So you always check back, no matter what, no matter how many times you do it, because I've caught myself. And essentially the way it works, the way I set everything up, is I need everything that I have everything I need in here. That way I don't have to go and get it. And this stuff is a mix of different salts and other things, bicarbonates, and I need 7.5 grams. And it brings the media up to like a pH of like 9 to 10, which keep the spirulina happy. Perfect. 7.5, actually 7.5 even. Of course, there's always going to be some kind of error, and what I do is when I don't need something anymore, I put it away, and that's how everything slowly kind of cleans itself up. It's also nice because then at the end, if there's something left on this table, then I probably forgot something. So it's kind of like a way to tell if I forgot something. Now over here I have chemical waste, I have trash, and I have a stuff for dishes. Now I need 1 milliliter of this nutrient mix. It's nutrient media. It's a whole bunch of it's called F2 media. It's a whole bunch of metals and trace metals and stuff, trace nutrients. And I need 1 milliliter.
I can hear the demons call when they do what they do, and now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is...
Now I let that mix around a little bit there, and okay, now I gotta take the magnetic stir out of the magnetic stir out of the bottle, which can be a little hard, but now what I do is I put it in UV sanitizer for 10 minutes, and that makes sure to kill all the any bacteria that might have snuck in there. And that's it for the first one. Now in these protocols I have spaces that I leave to do calculations or anything that I need to, any notes, anything that I notice. So next we're doing some, we're going to create some agar so that we can put it in these slants. We're going to use this. We're going to need 50 milliliters of the Arthrospira platensis media, culture media, which that's what we put in there, what we created, but we had some more. But we're going to need a lot more for what we're doing, so I created some in, beforehand.
Gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all. I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off. Find a place with the view.
So now that I have that, now I need to add 1.5 grams or 1.15 grams of agar.
The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all. I just gotta get through. Sometimes I feel like all is lost, but I know it's not true. I wanna put up all my walls cause I'm not in the mood, but then I cut myself off from the rest of...
I take this stuff, which is called autoclave tape. It's essentially a tape that will tell if I expose it to enough heat and pressure to sanitize it. And essentially what I will be doing is I will be putting it in a pressure cooker essentially. And I'll be doing that for about 20 minutes, and that should be enough to cause it to sanitize. So I'll be right back with that. Okay, so that's going to take 20 minutes, so we're going to put this aside and actually take the spirulina culture out of the incubator. I'm making a 70% mix of isopropyl alcohol. It doesn't have to be 100%, but this is going to be used to sanitize the port that I use to access the spirulina culture. And now I use these three syringes. I label them. 2 of them are isopropyl alcohol and one's distilled water. And this is a very deliberate process to take spirulina culture out of the incubator. So I first have to sanitize the port, and then I need to remove the isopropyl alcohol using distilled water. That way I don't poison the algae. And in doing so I need to pull the algae all the way back through the port. And then I can use these larger syringes to actually pull the sample out. And then I have to put some culture media back in there so that it's now refreshed with more nutrients. Put some distilled water through it to clean it out, get all the water and everything back into the culture, and then I have to re-sanitize the port. But I also have to, like right now, I have to turn off the aerator that way, because the aerator goes in and then the sample port goes out. But if I don't turn on the air off the aerator, the air will just push out and then I can't get any sample.
I know that time can heal it all if you're patient, and soon it can all be worth it, all the searching. Pain is never really permanent, but damn it hurts, man. I could feel all of the turbulence and it's concerning. I've been searching for...
And what I've done is I've pulled some of the algae in, and that ensures that all the other that the isopropyl alcohol has all been taken out, and it makes it easier so I don't have to suck air later on. And now we're going to take 300 milliliters of the culture and put it in here.
I hope it's worth it. This society is really trying me. Ain't no hide and seek, I hide to be far from anxiety. I need my space, I need my privacy. I need some silence, please, you're all too loud. You don't speak quietly, opinions violently thrown across every surface. It makes me nervous, it's the world honestly burning. That's all I'm learning, hope that we can make a turn and start reversing all our minds and put the work in. We got some work, man.
Now we need to put some nutrients back in. This is the nutrients that we just mixed. If you can't, you can't see it there, but that's essentially a sanitized or a UV sanitizer. Pretty much sanitize everything that I can in there. If I can't sanitize it in other ways, like things that might melt in the pressure cooker. So now I gotta put in 300 milliliters of nutrients to replace the culture that I took out. Now that's it for, and now I use the distilled water one. And what I'm doing is because it's not all the way up to the top level that's supposed to be, but I don't want to add more nutrient salts than what I took out, because eventually, because the reason the level is low is because of evaporation. So if I keep adding salts to get it right back to where it needs to be, it'll eventually get to an extremely high concentration. So I never put more nutrient media than I've taken out of it.
I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win,
So the last bit is to use some isopropyl alcohol to re-sanitize everything. And what I do is I inject it and take it back out. Okay, now we are going back to the creating the slants. Now a slant is exactly what it sounds like. You're creating a slanted test tube essentially. What I'll do is I'll take the population reading, and because it's so dark, I'm going to have to dilute it for the to get an accurate reading. And it's always a good idea to mix, because it does settle over time. And the way this works is we have these little cuvettes, and you pass light through it of a certain wavelength, and based on how much light comes out of it, it tells you roughly how much algae there is.
Unlikely, I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses.
I put it into I put the blank in first. It's always a good idea to wipe it to make sure there's no interference from dust or anything. I put the blank in first, and then I put the sample, close it up. And I should have turned it on first, because it takes a while for it to kind of get to where it needs to be. So now I pull the blank into the light, check to make sure it's at 680, which is the wavelengths. You always got to check, because who knows, you might have done a different experiment with a different wavelength and forgot to change it back or whatever. You always want to change it. And then now you pull the sample through, and I got 302 for the reading. It's actually 0.302. I'll turn that down. And then I'll use my my calculator to do the calculation. And what I got is 9.97 times 10 to the 4 trichomes, or little cells, per milliliter. And that's going to be useful later. So this is the agar. Now, as you can tell, it's in a different container. You always want to make it in a bigger container than the volume, like a much bigger one, because it boils over. Well, that beaker wasn't big enough, so I had to redo it. It's really hot, but as you can, I don't know if you can see right there, but that's the line saying that it's sufficiently sanitized. And now it's time to put the agar in there.
The gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain. I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little vice in. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate me, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent.
And now I just let it solidify there for a while. And now we're done with the slants, so that one's done. Now we also extracted, so that one's done. And we counted the population. So now we are inoculating the, we're essentially getting experiment 3 ready. So, which is inoculating the falcon tubes, these falcon tubes. Now they're all already labeled. You have the control, and you have the DIAA. Now, based on the population, I need to put 35 milliliters of, I have to dilute it because I want the starting population to be 15,000 trichomes per milliliter, and right now it's at like 99,000. So with this, so what I have to do is take 35 milliliters out of here and put it into this volumetric flask. So I put 35 in here, and then the rest will be media to get it up to the proper concentration. So I'll measure out 35 milliliters, 36 milliliters. See, that's why it's good to like double check everything.
If I miss all, forget it, I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing, I'll regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. That energy is like a poison, needs a man.
Okay, I need to add 9 milliliters into each tube, except for these 2 tubes right here. So I guess since you made it this far, I guess I'll explain what the experiment I'm doing. And it's actually a project. It's a set of experiments. It's been going on for about a year now. But essentially what I'm trying to do is, spirulina is used for many different things, for nutrients, supplements, for biofuels, for carbon capture, that kind of thing. So it'd be very important to figure out how to get it to grow faster. And hormones are one way to do that. Now, indole-3-acetic acid is a hormone that is normally used for plant rooting and stuff like that, and it's a natural hormone that plants produce to help grow. Now, there have been many studies that have shown a positive effect, including a study I did last year showing that indole-3-acetic acid can help grow the algae. However, there's other studies that show that it can also have a damaging effect as well. And essentially the studies all over the place, all the studies that have been conducted are all over the place, many different results. And what I'm trying to do is figure out why. So kind of the rabbit hole I'm going down through is, my thought is that perhaps because indole-3-acetic acid decomposes with light, that the byproducts of the decomposition is what actually caused the negative effects on the spirulina growth. And that's essentially what this experiment is trying to show, whether or not those byproducts are harmful. So there I've inoculated all the tubes. Now I need to add 1 milliliter of the control solution, which is essentially everything that the test solution has minus the decomposed indole-3-acetic acid. And then in the other one I add the solution that has the decomposed indole-3-acetic acid. And this is the decomposed indole-3-acetic acid, and this is the blank solution. There's a little bit of sodium hydroxide in here because indole-3-acetic acid does not dissolve well in water unless it's at a really high pH. So because of that, this will also have it as well, because otherwise if that has an effect on the growth, it will throw off the experiment if I don't have it in there.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming.
There's no way that you make it, and maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fight back. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not, think a straight kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking.
That way they can get all the sunlight they need, or fake sunlight, I guess. And then I'm going to put them into the incubator and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And I'm done with that one. The experiment 3 is underway officially. Now I'm going to put the slant transfer to the side for now, because there's the Indole-3-Acetic Acid determination, concentration determination, 30-minute wait in the pressure cooker. So I'll get that set up, put it in the pressure cooker, then I'll do the that way I can do the transfer of the spirulina into the slants. So I need 1.25 milliliters of hydrochloric acid. Anyways, these are filtered media from the last experiment. These had algae in it at one point, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to test them and see how much Indole-3-Acetic acid there is. So first, I need some hydrochloric acid. And then I need half a milliliter, so 500 microliters of ferric chloride. And what this does is this solution, it's a modified version of Salkawski reagent, but essentially what it does is it binds with the loosely binds with the Indole-3-Acetic acid, and it creates a red color when it does this, and it allows me to see the more Indole-3-Acetic acid there is in a solution, the more it will go red, and then I can put that in the spectrophotometer, and I can actually get a good measurement of how much Indole-3-Acetic acid there is. So what I did is I mixed the ferric chloride with the hydrochloric acid, and then now I'm going to take my samples and I'm going to transfer them in here.
Anymore. I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these fucking thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the motherfucking door on all you poor ass haters with your heads in the clouds, talking out loud so proud. You better shut your goddamn mouth before I do more speak out. It's about to head south.
You're never gonna make it. There's no way that you make it. Yeah, maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that?
Now I need to move 4.5 milliliters of each of these into their corresponding thing here, beaker. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up to make sure I don't screw it up. And then the last one will be a blank solution.
Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Or will you fucking fight back?
And then now I need to add the modified Salkawski reagent, and I need half a milliliter or 500 microliters of this Salkawski reagent into each one of them.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake us.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to top them with aluminum foil, and I'm going to put them in the pressure cooker for 30 minutes at 40 degrees Celsius.
Until I look away,
Okay, so I'm back. I put the Indole-3-Acetic Acid test in the incubator for 30 minutes, or the pressure cooker. So while that does that, we'll do the inoculation of the slants. I'm going to take the culture and I'm going to add 1 milliliter each to each one of these little centrifuge tubes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the culture in here and I'm going to put in a centrifuge. That way the algae settles down. I'm going to take out the liquid, put more liquid in, mix them up, and then spin them down again. And then I'm going to remove the liquid. What I'm doing is I'm essentially washing them. And then I'm going to put them in the slants.
As you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. As you fade away.
And now what I'll do is I'll use these little swabs to transfer them. Okay, so now that's all done, and I'll put these in the incubator, and they should stay for about 2-3 months at most. Now this is actually the first time I've ever done this, so hopefully it works. And I won't need that flame anymore. And the Indole-3-Acetic Acid test samples should be done by now, so I'll put this in the incubator and then get those. So the pressure cooker is all done. So now, and we finished the slant inoculation, so we can cross that one off. I'll take these off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up with their corresponding cuvette. And I need to remove 3.5 milliliters.
Baby, you make me feel nervous.
can dump these. And now I turned on the spectrophotometer, and let's see here. Now in this case, its nanometer is 536, so I got to change it to 536. And as always, you wipe off the cuvette. So you have blank, the IAA A2, so I'll be presenting my findings of this project and experiment at the Northeast Algal Symposium on April 15th and 16th. I'll be doing an oral presentation. This is actually my first one of this kind. I did a poster presentation last year. Okay, so I've taken all those readings. Now I can dump these. Now all I do is I clean everything up. Now I'm done with everything, and that's it. Now I just got to wait 10 days for the incubator test tubes to do their thing and grow, and I'll take readings of that and go from there. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in.